Good evening, good evening, good evening. So today, what we ended up having was we ended up having a pretty stagnant day because there was no news, and that's something very similar that we talked about on our Monday morning meeting as we looked over the entire week for this week. We do have coming out this evening, we do have that news for the yen as far as that news coming out for the yen. So we are watching their monetary policy statement as well as their interest rate decision. And then we do have early in the AM coming out for the yen. They do have a press conference. And so early in the morning, we do have the bank lending survey for the ECB, which affects the euro. And in the evening tomorrow, we do have quarter over quarter and year over year CPI numbers for Q4. Those numbers are expected to decrease, which is also what we talked about on the meeting this morning, that those numbers are expected to decrease for the New Zealand dollar with those CPI numbers. And so we will see if those reports do indeed come in tomorrow as they are expected to. And if they do, then we will be looking to capitalize on that. But again, right now, as of now, the only thing that is being affected are the yen pairs. And so that gives us the understanding of why the dollar has been stagnant the entire day. Again, holding on to all of its moving averages above the minor quarter level, also above weekly open. But again, not really doing much else other than that. If you look at what's taking place, we do have a very tight range here. So that tight range is being maintained right around the weekly open. So we have it trending down slightly below it. We also have trending slightly above it. And so we will see after everything begins to come in as far as the reports for this week, we'll see kind of how everything begins to pan out. So that's what we have for the dollar. Again, for the UC idea, this one also being above all of its moving averages and back above that minor quarter level, seeking to get 135 back if the news comes in this week that is favorable. We also talked about today the GU idea being above weekly open. It did pull back. When it pulled back, it did catch its 20, and after catching its 20, it did bounce after that. So again, continue to keep our eyes on that. We also have for the EU idea below all the moving averages. We talked about that today as well. We talked about the GJ idea. This one was doing the exact same thing that the dollar was doing, which is just trending around its weekly open. So that's what GJ was doing today. And then for UJ, we have it maintaining being below weekly open, but above 148 in the move and all of its moving averages, and having support in its 20-pair moving average as we are awaiting the yen news coming in tomorrow. And as that, like I shared, as that news comes in, we will make our decisions based off of that. So we have that news coming in tomorrow as well as later on today. So again, that yen news being the only news that we are looking towards, that we're looking for today. And we will be able to see once that report and once that news comes in how that is going to affect the yen pairs. So that's what we have. That's what we're looking at. Again, Tuesday is going to be a day where we are watching the yen, the euro, and the New Zealand dollar. Everything else should remain as is. So anything paired with the New Zealand dollar, that's going to be our UN as well as our NJ. We have the EU as well as the EJ tomorrow as well. And then we have all of our yen pairs as well. So some pretty active trades that we're going to be taking a look at tomorrow. And so that's what we have as it pertains to how the market is set up currently for the pairs that we trade. So again, going back to the dollar, this one is looking very healthy, being above its 20, being above that minor quarter level, and being up for the week. So this pullback could come back here, get caught by its 20-pair moving average, and then just continue its trek up as it seeks to regain lost ground. So as it seeks to regain ground that was lost going in towards the end of last week. So we can see here just this downward trend that bled into last week, and now we're getting this sense of consolidation here at the very top of this week. So that's what we have for these ideas, and we are looking forward to seeing kind of how everything comes out and pans out for tomorrow as it pertains to those reports that we are watching, so that we can see which side of the trade we're going to be on as it pertains to those news events.